Wait till spring now?
Yep.
The heater you put in that bedroom, can just turned on. We can do it for 75 degrees in there.
Yeah, we got those put on Daryl's computer because I was gone by the time you sent them.
Okay.
So then when I just happened to check my emails, I got in here and I only had time to put them on his.
Yeah, it must not take,
So they will need
it
copies.
must be plenty big.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is good, I guess, yeah.
Citizens' comments usually come after the brief of the consent agenda. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
We don't do it often enough, so. Which is a good thing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I,
Oh, well.
yeah,
Let's do that.
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm ready to put it on the other. This mask are home. Go to the new road planner next week.
You get careful, dirty. Let's go keep that clean.
I have washed it like 4 times and I've owned it less than 1 month. It is impossible.
You got leak on a place from that?
No.
I'm saying.
Wait, no, I do have Lane County plates because I went to the Lane County DMV.
This guy.
Okay.
And so they just already have plates made. So yeah, I don't know how that works, but yeah.
Well, just, if I do is see if you're in,
Right.
see the dirty for one thing, and then leak on a place up, she can't be in there.
That's one that's this.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that because I called first and I was like, it's quicker for me to come there. They had an appointment in 30 minutes. I was like, perfect. Think about the fact that it would have Lake County plates.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay, it's 6:30 and I'm gonna call to order the city of Swisher council meeting for Monday, December 8th, 2025. With that, can we have a roll call?
Roder,
Here.
Pujol,
Here.
Stag,
Here.
Klein,
Here.
Enoch.
Here.
Okay. Can I have an approval of the current agenda?
Motion to approve the current agenda.
Second.
I got a motion and seconded to approve current agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Okay, next thing on the list is the approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion for that?
Motion to approve consent agenda. Before we vote on it, I got a question.
Do you have something you want to elevate?
A, claims report.
Okay.
You want to move it to the agenda?
Pardon?
Move the claims
Yeah.
list to the agenda?
Yes, please.
Thanks. 5J.
Move it to the end.
Got it. It'll be at the end of the agenda.
Any other things that anybody wants to elevate off of the consent agenda?
I'll second it then.
Okay, I got a first and a second.
Who was the first?
Yeah.
Adam.
And let's have a roll.
Enoch,
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
Pujol. Roder,
Aye.
Stag.
Aye. Okay, next, number 3, public comment. If anybody would like to have any comments for the council that is not on the agenda, that we could speak now and hear what you have to say.
I don't have anyone online reaching out, so
Oh, yeah, that's online.
I do, one person, yeah.
Okay. Okay, next we'll go to reports. We can start with the sheriff.
Nothing from us, anything for us?
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Mhm. Engineer,
Real quick, this past month, HR Green worked on the First and Rose Storm Sewer project, reviewing pay app number 1. So that should be on the agenda at the next council meeting. We worked on the 2026 sanitary sewer lining project. The project was put out for quote. We accepted quotes today. We'll be reporting on that later. We also coordinated with the Public Works Superintendent for the Third Street storm sewer investigation. We were going to, do some potholing out there to try and locate, where that boring gel was coming from. But then it snowed and we didn't get to that. We have been checking on it every time we're in town. We've noticed that not as much is coming out anymore. So we'll revisit that the next time the ground is, it's not as frost in it. And try and stay on top of that so we're ahead of the DNR in the spring. Then the last thing I have is the South Slope sewer repair. That's down on 4th. It's been ongoing since the first televising project that was done a year ago, where they found a sewer that was completely backed up. So I keep checking in with them. They're telling me now that in January or February, they will be performing that repair. So I have them on notice that the city needs at least 48 hours notice before they do any construction. Like to have a meeting on site before they do any work. And I will keep you updated.
okay. Any questions for the engineering? Mayor, obviously the mayor's not here tonight. He had a prior engagement. Council, any reports from council on anything?
I just, the only thing I got is, I had like 3 or 4 different people, talk good about the widow and widowers, dinner yesterday at the, I think that was put on by the Willows, wasn't it, Patty?
No, there's like 5 organizations.
Okay, well, who all the organizations that everybody I talked to, they thought it was a really neat thing, so just thank you for all that.
I've got something. I would like to have a special meeting to discuss personnel activities. And it could end up to be a closed session also. But I guess you tell me what we need to do.
A special meeting?
Yes,
So I think I would,
This would be something that I think the mayor
mhm,
would have to set up.
well,
It's not something to where the council can just say you wanna have a special meeting to deal with personnel issues.
okay,
That's
Maybe
the
our attorney.
mayor. It's the mayor that should have to
okay.
set that up.
I didn't know he was gonna be here, so, I want that as soon as possible.
Talk to Dusty and
See how, then.
Probably should have the attorney present or not.
yeah,
I think we should. Is anybody opposed to that, I guess, before we go into this?
No, I don't know.
It's not our,
it's not
It's not
something that.
the mayor has to, I know, but like, even if I say, yeah, I'm opposed to it, that.
I know, I just
You
want to get a feel.
cannot make any decision.
You
on
can't,
personnel.
you can't
Mayor
make
has
a
to enact
decision
that.
on that.
I know, but I want to get a feel on it. You know, if everybody's against it, there's no sense even spending
Yes.
money for a meeting.
It's like Cody's saying, you can't really say, yeah, you're against or
Yeah.
not against
I
it.
don't know why you.
Cause it's not our place
We're
to,
not making,
to set
we're not
that.
making a motion.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, we do not have any power to set that meeting.
right.
I'm not opposed to a meeting though, if that's.
That's all I want to know.
Yep, I'm not opposed to a meeting. If the mayor wants to do a meeting, we'll do a meeting.
Yep. Okay, yeah. As soon as possible.
okay, I have got it down.
Is there anything else, council? also discussed. Mallory?
I submitted a written report and the agenda just updates of things that, were submitted or I've been working on. I did my PIB training, which was required. And yeah, other than my report, just normal day-to-day activity.
Okay. Cat.
I don't have too much. I'm pretty disappointed we didn't get the sludge haul before it snowed. I've kind of been on that guy. If anyone knows a reliable sludge hauler, they don't even have to be like super reliable. Because that has like been really hard over the last handful of years, is to find anyone who can do that and do it well, like at all. So if anyone ever knows a name, shoot it my direction. So, but anyway, so we didn't get that done, unfortunately, which really bums me out. I really wanted to have that storage, but we'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. The only real bummer is that we were over on chloride, which we kind of talked about that in the past. This last month, our chloride sample was high. We've also been high in Walford. So, and this would have been before all the snow and everything like that. So it doesn't have anything to do with like a salt being spread that's making it somehow into a sewer or anything like that at all. But just been kind of dry prior to that. And that's typically when those numbers tend to go up. So I don't have, again, chloride's the one thing I have no control over in the waste system. So if it gets up there a little bit, there's nothing I can do about that. So all the other numbers are fine. Ammonias, all that stuff's good. We got the UV shut off for the year. It's off. I haven't yanked the banks yet. We have a truck with a crane on. I'm going to bring out because it's a way easier to do that with that. So outside of that, just, yeah, a little disappointed about the sludge and Wilhelm chloride. Those probably good highlights.
The chloride, is that pertaining to, is this something you were talking to a meeting or two ago?
We talked about the concern is that we've here in Swisher, we've run the ragged edge of compliance when it comes to chloride. I mean, we've just been under the numbers most of the time. The number's 386. We're like 340, 350, 330. I mean, we're kind of always floating right around there, but we've always had some numbers that pop up over that 386 from time to time. It's odd, you like in Walford, I always compare you guys because you're close. Population's, a little bit bigger in Walford, but overall, they've struggled a lot more than you guys have in terms of having issues with chloride. And our concern with chloride was when we were talking about, this water system, possibly if they put a softening system in and start feeding us a bunch of stuff. That's still our main concern with that. And so, yeah, just having a hit on chloride, we haven't had one in a while. That's kind of what makes it a little notable in that regard, but kind of is, unfortunately, we're just stuck in that position of, till someday maybe Swisher does a water system, we're kind of always going to be flirting with that a little bit. So
What do you do to get it down? Just wait till it goes down?
it's all about what we get fed
Can't
down.
treat it or anything.
There's nothing, unfortunately, with chloride, there's nothing on the wastewater side you can do
Okay.
to treat it. It's an insoluble, it's a soluble inorganic. And so it just goes right through the system. The bugs don't feed on it, nothing. Whatever comes in, basically goes out the other side. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but,
And how often do they check it then? Every month or
we do it monthly.
monthly?
There was a stretch there where Chris, the old mayor, had wanted us to do it like every single week. So we ran it weekly for a little while, and kind of did that. Our permit really only requires monthly. So it's kind of wasting the extra money just
Right.
for kind of no real reason. So we went just back to doing it on a monthly
Plus weekly,
basis.
probably fluctuate all over the place.
It stays pretty consistent. Generally, what we probably would have found was if we would have sampled all of November, we just would have been high every week.
Yeah.
The reason why you could make an argument the problem comes down to if you sample it every week, we have to report it every week.
Right.
And so if you end up with a high stretch, it doesn't help you. The only thing that would help is if we had one high and all the rest of them were really low to counteract that high one, the average out. Generally,
Then there's a question.
Generally, you don't have a random high one all surrounded by a bunch of low ones. Typically, it's whatever season, or if it's really dry, nothing's really going on, those numbers tend to go up and stay up until they don't. So
Now, our biggest problem was if using that Jordan aquifer, are they using that now? Are they pumping water out of there? for
So-
Houses?
I don't know at this point. I don't believe they've done any of that yet. The Jordan Aquifer wasn't so much the concern, like the Jordan Aquifer doesn't feed us the chloride. The Jordan Aquifer just has hard water. And the problem that they're gonna have is the well that they drilled exceeds on radium. And so when we have radium problems, you only have a handful of methods that can treat that. Softening is one of them, and it's far and away the cheapest out of the options they're looking at. It's just our problem becomes sending us all the chloride waste, because from a softening system, the way those work is, something you may know or not know, but the resin, you soak it in a brine solution, it grabs onto the sodium and holds that on its surface, but then it flushes all the chloride to the waste. And then as time goes on, as water goes through that softening system, it exchanges the calcium for the sodium. And then once that's exhausted, you backwash it, soak it in brine again, flush all the chloride to waste and hold on to the sodium. And so the concern always just is the chloride going to waste. And that would be our concern with that up there. So it's concern in general. I mean, because we don't have any control over it when it's, and it's just is what it is with you guys. Again, Walford, the same way, when you don't have any control over your water system, whatever people send us is what we got to contend with. So
to jump in, HR Green has prepared a treatment agreement for the Ralston subdivision. We've shared it with you previously. We've been discussing that with the city attorney. Given his pending retirement, he suggested that it turn into an addendum to the developer's agreement, and B, we coordinate it after the new year with the new city attorney. So that's where we're at right now with that contract.
Okay.
So we appointed that Lynch Dallas as assistant attorney, so we could reach out to them
Okay.
sooner. So they are actually appointed as of the last meeting.
So if we could get that contact information, I'll coordinate with you. Get that started sooner than later.
Anything else?
I have nothing else. Anything for me?
Any questions for Chad? Other
Okay.
than what's
Thank you.
Chad's?
Thanks, Chad.
Okay, thank you.
Call me anytime. Have a good meeting. Don't we close the store or keep leaving this open?
You can leave it open.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. With that, let's move on to business. We'll start with review and award bid for pavilion at Costi. We have 4 bids.
Does anybody have any questions for Tim, since he was nice enough to come to the meeting?
Motion to award bid to Bromus Construction.
Second.
I got a motion to award the bid for the construction of the new pavilion.
I got a question first, Tim. Do you think there should be any footings or anything on that?
I talked to the county, they said it didn't need to be, we can go right on the top of that slab.
Okay.
The only thing that they told me last week that we need to do, which won't change my bid at all, but we need to raise that up higher than it is. I don't know if you've noticed how short that is. You can't have any obstruction within 6'8", similar to like if you were going down your basement stairs, you got a clear 6'8", and we got all that diagonal racing in there. That all has to come out, because he talks about anybody that has limited sight issues, they'd hit it. Talked about building a wall to do that. And I said, God, that's gonna be expensive, and then that's gonna get dented. What are we gonna put on the walls on the corners where all that bracing is? And he said, I just raise it up. If you go up a little higher, then we can put the bracing like is at the other shelter up there. It's all up at the top. As long as we clear everything, the lowest thing is no lower than 6'8".
Will you still have those X braces that you won't have that?
We'll lose all
good.
that.
Good, that's,
We would lose
I
all
never
that.
liked that anyway.
Yeah.
You can't have them.
And that way we can clear it. So it's, when I measured it the other day, I think it's 7 something now, so it's a foot higher. Which would be nice, cause if you walk up to that on the 2 ends, that soffit, that roof is almost there where you can hit your head on it. So it would raise it up. Nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions?
When do you think you would start this spring?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the bid from Glomus Construction,
And a
and
second.
I got a second. Let's have a roll.
Pujol.
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Enoch,
Aye.
Beck.
Aye. Okay, we'll move on to B. Review and award bid for 2026 sanitary sewer lining project.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You have to sign your computer, but if you want to take a copy too.
So quotes were received today at 10 a.m. for the 2026 sanitary sewer lining project in Region 5. We're providing the tabulation as an attachment for the 3 quotes received that were in conformance with the proposal requirements. All quotes have been reviewed for completeness and accuracy. We did find an error with the total item cost. For Vichy sewer, item 8 should have been $660. It changes their total base quote to $70,162.50. The total quote of $60,551.25 for Municipal Pipe Tool Company LLC of Hudson, Iowa represents the low bid based on the results of the tabulations of the 3 quotes. This quote is 12% above the engineer's opinion of probable construction cost and represents competitive pricing for work of this nature. It is recommended the city award the Municipal Pipe Tool Company LLC total quote of $60,551.25, subject to negotiation with the contractor to remove items 5, 6, and 8 for spot repair of sanitary sewer 57 between manholes 20 and 21, and to increase items 1, 2, 3, and 4 to add additional lining of sanitary sewer 58 between manholes 15 and 26. This would reduce the project cost to the city's budget and create a project in 2027 that includes full sewer replacement and spot repairs, which would use the same type of equipment. So we came to this conclusion after speaking with Municipal Pipe. And they were the ones that suggested we remove spot repair. Their cost for spot repair doubled. And since we received the quotes a year ago for regions 1 through 4. And we had used their numbers for our estimate. So, the heavy cleaning of the sewer, the spot repairs, and there's one other. And the sanitary sewer service reinstatement all increased quite a bit. So we were looking for a way to keep the project. We, at first, we're gonna recommend rejecting it and rebidding it in a few months so that they could do it when the weather's better. Talking with Muni Pipe, they said they expect labor and material costs to go up again after the first of the year. And they were the ones that suggested considering this, where we remove the spot repair, the open excavation, that would allow us to do another length of lining. And then in Region 5, there is a sewer that is recommended for full replacement. So if we do that as a project next year, we could include the spot repair at that time. They'll have the excavators, all the equipment on site, and it maybe won't cost as much.
You're gonna plan to put that out right away, July or whenever
Yeah,
fiscal year starts over?
yep.
I guarantee these point repair, the spot repairs are because of the current weather conditions and temperature.
I
A
asked
lot of
her,
them are.
if that would change if we rebid and if we get lower costs, and she said she didn't think so. Because she had even asked them if we extended, if she was able to negotiate us extending the time frame a little bit more, if they could get a cheaper price. And they had told her no.
Why is there such a large variance between these three bids?
Well, it's just the one, that's why, the other one's only,
Yeah, that one.
one's $10,000 higher, but the one, the one's like
The other one's down in Missouri.
$100,000 higher.
I'm just looking from the low to the high, there's quite a
Yeah.
bit, I just,
Yeah,
Because the one from Missouri does the same thing that every other contractor does. They randomly found it and they threw a dart at the wall, hoping nobody else would bid it. And if it sticks,
Right.
they'll figure out how to make it work for that price.
Yeah.
yeah,
so these are all reputable companies.
yes, they are. They're all companies we sent the project to when we put it for quote.
So,
Excuse me.
so if I'm hearing what you're just telling us though, with taking out the spot repairs here
Mhm.
and adjusting items 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that would all, so the process would be we'd award as it is,
As is.
with the understanding that we're gonna negotiate with the contractor to do a change order, to remove the spot repairs and add in another length of lining. So we'd have 4
We're
lengths
gonna
of sewer
change
line.
unit quantity.
Right.
Okay.
We're gonna change quantities.
Yeah, and so that estimate based on these unit prices came out to $54,274, which my estimate before we received quotes was 54,300. So it's the same. And so Tim knew he had asked for a little bit of an increase when we went into this project. So that's more of his concern, that that cost is still within where the city would like to be.
Okay.
Motion to award bid to municipal pipe pending amendments.
So
Okay, I got a motion and a second for municipal pipes bid with the amendments that were spoken. Any other questions, concerns? I'll have a roll.
Enoch,
Aye.
Stag,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Pujol,
Aye.
Roder.
Okay. Let's go on to C. It's update on 117 Second Street one.
So my update is just that no well's been drilled yet. I talked to the homeowner and they are trying to get it scheduled. The previous homeowner, the Olneys, they did decline them connecting to that well. They have already let 2 people connect to it. So it would cause an increased cost because, they would need an upgraded pump and some other equipment that would ultimately be the cost of putting a well in. And then Melissa, do you have an update for your side of it at all?
Well, we just found out about it the first time it
Yes.
was on the agenda when you guys did. I spoke with Dave Schmidt. I spoke with our inspector, Kevin Ward, and neither of them had heard of any issues during construction. Apparently the property owner had the well contractor tell her it was because of construction. So,
That's what was mentioned when they were in here.
right.
In the council meeting.
So we would want to see some supporting evidence of that, because just based on that, Dave Schmidt's insurance will not cover that. And I would guess neither would the city of Swishers.
So if we chose to cover it, it would be, we would have to pay for it out of
Unless they can come up with a.
Yeah.
Right, unless there's a reason. And looking at the project, we didn't lower the creek at all in that location along Howard. The storm sewer was put in at the same elevation that the creek ran at previously. We also did not dewater in that area. All the dewatering was done south of Third Street. So we're kind of confused by what.
What's the difference between the house over here that we did pay for the new well then?
That's where we were doing the dewatering.
Oh, we were doing the dewatering there.
South of Third Street,
Okay,
Yeah.
it's south of there, okay.
where all those pumps were.
Was that section, did you say was done in 2024?
Right,
Right, yeah.
yeah, that's the other thing is that area of Howard,
Oh,
that sewer was all done in 2024. It wasn't even this summer. This summer.
They
we
they did say at that meeting though, they've been having,
Issues.
issues for a while. It was like sporadic,
Mhm.
issues. I remember Kathy and her husband saying that at the meeting. But it was never brought to us. I mean, I'm just saying they said that they were noticing it for a while.
Yeah. So, some sort of proof or a timeline or something.
So this is something that we should probably get back with the homeowners and tell them that we would need some documentation or some kind of.
From the well
evidence.
people.
Yeah.
Was it Browns they had over there or was it?
No,
Mhm.
Gingrich?
Yeah.
Oh, Gingrich, yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that?
Nope, I just wanted to make sure it was on there so everyone had an update on where it was at.
Okay. And you'll get with Kathy and them,
Yes.
as soon as possible, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to D, 78 Rose Avenue withdrawal.
So, I had put the copies of the emails from, Letter West and Craig about, this. They had mitigated the infractions. And so if you read the letter, they recommended withdrawing if you determined from the photos that the infractions were taken care of. And there was a new roof put on the garage and the chicken coop was torn down. So this is just on here for you to decide whether you would like to withdraw from the court date is December 22nd. If you do not withdraw.
Has everybody had a chance to look at
they have cleared all the infractions. That's
that's what was stated
Well, I
on
mean,
here, and it looked to me like it,
I mean, my parents live across the street. Like,
Mhm.
I see it all the time. I saw the process.
Yeah.
All the infractions that were cited are cleared up.
so as far as I'm concerned, we should go ahead and tell them to withdraw.
Yeah. I still struggle with the idea that I'm fine for withdrawing, but I'm telling you, it sets a really bad precedent for anybody in this town. Because if I ever get a fine, I'm gonna say I'm never paying it
As long as I fix it.
at some point.
Right.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, the problem is that property has changed hands.
And the person who,
Like, I mean, I'm all for that. I'm just saying, like, we are basically saying, like, we really don't ever find anyone then. Which that's what we want to move.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Cody's saying there. And I also think that we've got just as bad as stuff in this town that we're not even bringing up, so. And why even bring it up ever again? Because we're never gonna be able to do nothing about it anyway, unless your grass gets higher than 12 inches, then we'll make you mow it. I mean,
That's what's like most frustrating to me is like,
yeah, we can't do anything about it. I mean, we're not gonna be able to do. I totally agree with
Like Daryl said.
withdrawing that, so, I mean.
yeah, like Daryl said last meeting, if we have ordinances in place that we're not going to follow, why do we keep them? Why don't we start going through the code book and deleting ordinances if we're not gonna? I mean, I think we all agree, this homeowner, yeah, a lot of us are friends with, so like, yeah, it's easy to say withdraw, but
we spent a lot of time in previous meetings where we discussed on what to do over there because of the infractions. And it was kind of like we didn't really get down to assessing a monetary penalty on him until quite a while after the fact that it was brought to his attention that he needed to do something about the infractions.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think part of that is on us for that. But I agree with you, what you're saying to an extent, but the codes are on the books and stuff, and I think maybe what we should be talking about more is this council needs to be more inclined to start assessing those penalties earlier instead of dragging our feet with stuff. That's my thoughts on it.
You know, they didn't quite improve them, but it's still doesn't meet up with standard on, like you see, it wouldn't hurt to put a coat of paint on there.
I agree,
Yeah,
but
that's-
that's not.
That's what I thought.
I know it's not, but how do you,
Well, you
Change the code.
We haven't
not much
changed
you can
it.
do about that.
well.
In the code, we don't have that you have to have paint on your house
No,
or your building?
trust me, we read it. No.
No.
What about, okay, so,
So
okay, then I know where we're at then.
There are some,
Okay,
This was discussed with the, city attorney actually that, you know, what is required and the only thing it says in our code, is that it can't be falling down. Or, it has to be like, have good structure, but, other than that, there's nothing about the, how pleasant it looks or whether it has siding or windows or anything like that. It just can't have infestation and it can't be falling down. So,
I just don't
there's
get,
gotta be some way to do
I
this.
just don't get with the
Yeah.
Cranic property, how we were able to issue a nuisance then. Because structurally, it wasn't falling down. But we still gave them a nuisance and they tore it down.
It's probably because Kranich didn't fight it. If Kranich wanted to fight it, they probably would have won too.
There's a building not too far from here that looks. Yeah, that would need, you know,
so this
there's gotta be some way to have
Yeah,
slightly,
I would like
amendment, so there is a code, the city attorney recommended looking at Hiawatha City Code. There is one in there for, you know, what you're looking for. We just have to put it on an agenda to
So,
talk about
yeah,
it. and amend
I'd
our
like to
code.
put on that property, on it. And if you could pull that Hiawatha one, but at this time, I will withdraw the court date for this property.
so is that a
So a
motion?
motion to
That's a
withdraw.
motion.
Yeah, I got a motion to withdraw.
Second.
But yeah, it's like one of the next two meetings to
Yeah.
look at that.
Let's have a roll call.
we need to do, instead of just talk about it, we need to do something.
Roll call.
Enoch.
Aye.
Stag,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Pujo.
Aye.
Klein.
Aye.
All right, we'll put that in.
Okay. E, dance more liquor license approval.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We got a motion to approve dance more liquor license. And second, let's have roll.
Pujo,
Aye.
Stag,
Aye.
Roder,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Enoch.
Aye.
Okay, yeah. Board of Adjustments, variance refund.
So we had a Board of Adjustments meeting, and I wasn't quite sure how to handle this. It was for the Swisher Legion. The Board of Adjustments did meet. They did read the code. They did decipher the code. They determined that a variance was not needed. It was very vague language with it being a business that is next to residential. Because where they're doing the building is not butting up to the residential, and because it's a corner lot, it made it a little different. They did have to discuss that and make a determination, so I wasn't really sure. They did come in asking if they got a refund because it wasn't needed. And I said that I would have to take it to council, so it's $200 for the Board of Adjustments to meet and for the publications, because we had to do a public hearing, in the Gazette and everything, which I think it was like $70 or something, so.
Motion to refund.
Second.
Thoughts?
Can I just ask why?
Hmm?
Can I ask why?
Why the refund?
Yeah,
Cause if they had to convene the board of adjustments,
Well, we made them do it. They're saying that wasn't
Every-
needed. Isn't that what they're saying?
Kind of, the code could
Define
be,
kind of.
the code could be read two different ways. The way that the board chose to read it was that because the side of the property, there's no rear yard setback because it's a corner lot, so it has side yards and a front yard, or 3 side yards and a front yard. Because it's the Legion's on a corner lot. On the other sides across the street are residential, and that's what makes it a kind of a gray area, because they wanted to build a building that was 7 foot from the right of way. And if it's butts up to a residential property, the code says that it should be 15 feet. But because the code doesn't say if it's a side yard, it says a rear yard, but that lot has no rear yard. And because the side of the property they were putting the building on doesn't have residential, it's to the alley and then to business. The way they chose to read the code, because it could be read many ways or deciphered many ways, it's very gray, basically. And so they chose to read it as, because the building will not be butting up to residential, even though the other sides of the property do, that they would not need a variance.
The other side don't, the streets,
It still is bordering residential properties.
no, it's not, the street,
Even with the streets, it still borders it's on the edge of the,
they own the
commercial. So,
they own the whole block. Half
Yes.
a block.
mhm,
So I don't know how you get a front and backyard in a corner.
yeah,
well, that's
it's the code,
deciphering of the board of
Yeah.
adjustments.
So why would we give the money back when you had to,
When they had to meet.
they had to meet anyway for this? If the Board of Adjustments would have
Right.
gone the other way, they wouldn't be building what they're gonna build.
right?
Or if the board of adjustments would have said, yes, you can have the variance, they'd still be building them.
Look, who turned it down and they had to go to the board of adjustment?
they didn't, the way the code is,
They thought that they had to have 15 feet setbacks and they're applying for.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
I thought
Right.
I thought I missed the one where we required them.
We never made
We
it.
never-
We didn't,
No.
we didn't require them to do
No.
anything.
Okay, I didn't.
no. They
didn't think
requested
we
board
did.
of
I-
adjustment.
We still had to pay the board, so.
Yeah,
Why-
and we still have to pay the.
Yeah, and the publication fee, so why would we?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I agree with what's being said here. I don't think that we should be refunding because they had the Board of Adjustments meet, go through this process. They still gotta pay the board. They still gotta pay for anything that's posted on it.
When I talked to Chris on the Board of Adjustments, I asked him if this code, if we should amend it, and he said it would be up to the city whether we amend it to make it more specific, but the odds of this scenario coming up again are very slim because of